And welcome back. We're going to play more with vectors. And just to show you that we can duplicate a little bit of what was going on before with our grades and names, if we had to get a final grade for a given number of names, we could do it this way. Now, the thing with vectors is you can't drop it straight into a vector location if you don't have one to drop it in. Pushback adds it onto a pile. Right now, our sizes, as we know, are 0 because I didn't initialize them. And I really didn't want to because I want to show you how to do this with an unknown number of variables. So to make this work better for you, you need to get a temporary name variable that'll hold something that we're going to use to push onto the vector, and a double temp grade to push onto the grade vector. So now we can ask our user to enter the grade, enter the name, and we can actually use the standard get line with standard cin. To go forth and acquire the name, and then we'll ask for the grade. And that'll get us a name and a grade temporarily. But now we need to add it to our happy little group of names. So we'll take names.pushback, and the temp name, grades, same thing. And that adds 1 grade to us. So now if we wanted to add a whole bunch more, we would typically take this and wrap it inside a loop. So we'll do a do loop just for fun. We'll pretend like we know we had to get at least 1 student in the class. And then we need some sort of condition to test for. Well, I'm going to do it with the good old ask you, do you want to continue? Do you have more things to enter in? So I'll give myself a character. I'll call it ch and set it equal to a blank. And then I can print out here. And that'll get that. As always, we have to remember, like we did last time and forgot, the get line is going to kill itself on a new line character. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that just in case they actually do have more than 1. And that'll clear out the new line character. So I'm going to ignore the no part, but I can just test for this. I'll convert that to uppercase. And as long as it's uppercase, yes. So we've tested for that. You'll give me a yes, regardless of which. I'll come around and I'll get more for us. And let's just see. Enter the name, Bob. 90. Yes, I do. Jim, or whatever, 77. No, I don't. And I'm done. So you can see I'm building something that has an unknown. I didn't declare a size here, so I'm just going to kind of crank through them and let them do their own little thing. This allows me to actually use the vector to hold as many as I need as long as you've got input. So imagine this being reading from a file. So a file can have as many possible students and it'll just dump it right in there. Now if I wanted to print this thing out, I can of course come down and write more. Such as I can use a nice little range-based for loop to print these guys out. Or I can use a nice little index loop to print it out. The range-based for loop gives me a little bit of leeway on some things in that it allows me to not have to worry about how many are in it, but I already know how many in it. I showed you how to find that. So that's it. And since I add 1 to each one of these, I can use either one of these that I want. So I can use, say, for example, names. I can pick the size. Fingers are losing it. Boop. So I can make a loop, run it to the size, and do this. So that'll actually let me print for the name size or grade size. They're both the same thing. And that will give me the printout of everybody that I've entered into my system. So if I come down here and try it again, Bob 90, Jim, oh, yes, Jim 88, no, there's Bob and Jim. But you can see I didn't have to specify stopping, I didn't have to specify a size, I didn't have to specify anything that handled dealing with something special with that. It just allowed me to keep adding things onto the array or adding things onto my vector and not treat it like an array. Can you build it like an array? Yes. You can declare the size and then manipulate each individual element using the same exact thing there or using the @ symbol. But to me, vectors just give me the ability to punch things together as I need to and then find out how big I am in case I want to manipulate it. If all I wanted to do is print out names, I could do it with the string name, like the vector thing that with the range-based for loops to handle that. So you can see that this is a whole lot better in terms of flexibility. You don't have to worry about manipulating physical sizes of things. You just use it and use as much space as you need. One of the things that we have also, by the way, is this concept called popback. Popback takes something off of an array or off of a vector, so we can add and subtract, but it's just like a Pringles can. It popped back the thing at the top. So take the top Pringles chip off. You can't get the bottom one. We'll show an example of that later. Anyway, this is a brief example on how to use vectors, what I believe is the correct way, with an indeterminate amount of values of input. Hope you're having a great day.